We're going to factor the trinomial x squared minus 9x minus 22. So the first thing we want to consider is, do we have, not GCF, do we have the difference of two perfect squares? Do we have dots? And because we have a trinomial and not a binomial, there is no difference of two perfect squares. That would only be if we had two terms. The next thing we're going to think about is, do we have a greatest common factor? And there is no greatest common factor here because our constant 22 has no variable x with it, meaning we cannot factor out a variable. And the a value in front of x squared is 1, which means that there is no greatest common factor. So this then makes us think about using x game. So we want to think about using x game. So the way we've thought about x game is, it's our a, b, and c. So it's a times c for x game. So if a is 1, b is negative 9, and c is negative 22, a times c is what number multiplies to negative 22, but adds to negative 9. And another way we've thought about this before is in our box method, where if we're going to take that trinomial, we know that this is going to be x squared, and this has to be negative 22. So if this is x and this is x, we're looking for our two numbers that multiply to negative 22, but eventually this way will add to negative 9. So we could begin by starting to list out the factors of 22. So we have 1 and 22, which these numbers are too far apart, because if I have a negative 22 and a positive 1, that'll get us to negative 21, and we want this to be negative 9. So also note that because c is negative, one of our values will have to be negative and one will have to be positive. And because our b value is negative, we know the larger number will be negative. All right, the next factor I'll think about is 2 and 11. So 2 and negative 11. And we'll see that this does work, where we have 2 and negative 11, because 2 plus negative 11 is negative 9. So we have positive 2 and negative 11. So this will be negative 11x, and this will be 2x. So again, I can now rewrite this as x plus 2 times x minus 11 from our factors, which we can see in our x game and in our box method. And if you want to see this fully written out, we had x squared plus 2x minus 11x minus 22. So we get x squared minus 9x minus 22. All right, so our factored form of x squared minus 9x minus 22 could be rewritten as x plus 2 times x minus 11.